Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, and we're doing something a little different today. Today we're making Pokemon teams for the night characters from Nightmare Before Christmas. This one's going to be a little bit of a different video than I normally do, but without further ado, let's get into it. Up first we have the Mayor, and for him, he doesn't have too much screen time, so we don't get to learn a lot about him. But there are two Pokemon which he would most likely have on his team. One, Skelvillain, which its two heads could reference his double head, would you say? His double head? Because he has one positive side and one negative side, which you could be one of them. The green head is more vicious than the other, which could reference that. And the only other Pokemon that could work for him would be Revavroom, to reference his little car in the film. Next up we have Sally, which she had a decent amount of screen time, but still not too much to go off of for Pokemon wise. But the few Pokemon that I could think of would be Type Null or Silvally, which, like Sally, was created by scientists. Of course, Type Null was created by scientists, Sally was created by a scientist, but you get it. Next up, Vileplume, because Vileplume's Dex entry says that it gives off a pungent aroma. I think, yeah, that's, and that is also a poison type, which could be kind of a nod to how Sally poisons her creator, and uses Frog's breath to cover the stench. And lastly, the only other Pokemon that I could think of would be Torracat, considering the fact that in Sally's song, Sally's solo, can be seen petting a blackish cat. And also, Torracat could reference how in Sally's vision, she sees Jack's plant going up in flames, and Torracat could reference that as well. Next up, we have Lock, Jacq, and Beryl. This one is pretty easy, considering they only really need one Pokemon each. We decided to do a little bit different there. So, Lock, being a demon, obviously would have Houndoom, referencing a hellhound, and also his little demon tail. Jacq, the witch on the left, would have Mismagius, referencing because they're both witches. And also, in one of Mismagius's Dex entries, it says that Mismagius enjoys messing with other Pokemon or trainers. So there's that. And Beryl has a Duskull, to reference his little skeleton mask. See ya. Boogie Boys. See ya. The masks. And they would all probably have a shared Impidimp, considering Impidimp's Dex entry says that it enjoys pranking other people and Pokemon, which Boogie Boys enjoy doing. Although they would probably fight over the Impidimp every once in a while. Next up, we have the big bad of the movie, Oogie Boogie. Now, this one's pretty easy. Being the big bad, he has a good amount of screen time, which can give you a lot to go off of. Now, first I would give him Bayonet, which the zipper could reference the seams, and Bayonet's Mega Evolution could reference the fact that, like, against the seams, but also how Jack defeats him in the movie, where he rips the seams off and, like, all of his bugs come out, and with Bayonet's evolution, or Mega Evolution, you can see the ghostly energy coming out of the zippers, which again, the zippers could reference the seams. And also the burlap sack, in a way. So, next up we have Scolipede, which obviously would reference the bugs inside of him. Next up, we have Honchkrow, which references the fact that Honchkrow's dex entry says that it gets Murkrow to do its dirty work, like how Oogie Boogie gets the Boogie Boys to do his dirty work. Next up, he would have a Gengar to reference the fact that in Gengar's dex entry, it says that in the moonlight, it enjoys scaring people with its shadow, like how in the beginning of the movie, you can see him in the moon shadow saying, "I am the shadow in the moon at night, filling your dreams to the brim of fright." So obviously scaring people with his shadow in the moon. And last but not least, he would have a Spinarak, which could reference the fact that in the Oogie Boogie song, he has a little spider come out the top of his sack on the top. And also in Ekans, to reference the snake that is inside his dice. Also, both the last two could reference snake and spider soup, which he has been said to make in both his song and the Boogie Boys song. Last but not least, we have the main character, Jack Skellington himself. Now, first, I would give him a Greavard to reference Zero, his little ghost dog, and Greavard is the literal ghost dog Pokemon, so that would be it correlates pretty well. Next up, he would have a Trevenant, which could reference the trees, trees that lead to different holidays, and also could reference could reference the tree with the skeletons in the opening song. Also, Trevenant has been known to go after trainers and Pokemon who ruin the forest, like how in the final battle, Jack Skellington goes after Oogie Boogie to save Santa Claus and Sally. Next up, he would have a Marowak, and I chose Alolan considering the fact that it gives off a more Halloweenish vibe, and also it's got a skull on its head, which could reference he's a skeleton. Also, the fact that Marowak, one of its abilities is rock head smash, rock smash. What is it? What is it again? Yes, Rockhead as its hidden ability, which could reference how Jack is hard-headed and, despite Sally's warnings, didn't listen to it and continued with his plan. Next up, he would have a Mimikyu, which could reference the fact that he kind of envies Santa Claus in the movie. He kind of envies him and wants to be like him, like how Mimikyu envies Pikachu and wants to be like a Pikachu. So Mimikyu has a little sack thing on for that, and like how Jack dresses up as Santa Claus. And Mimikyu could also reference the Oogie Boogie because of the sack on it. And also he would have a Delibird, which is basically the Santa Claus of the Pokemon world, to obviously reference Santa Claus. That's pretty easy. And last but not least, we couldn't have the Pumpkin King. Pumpkin King couldn't have a Pokemon team without a pumpkin Pokemon, Gourgeist, which is a literal pumpkin, as you can see. I'm pretty sure that's a pumpkin or a gourd. Pumpkin is a type of gourd. So, obviously, that's the Pumpkin King. You couldn't have this team without Gourgeist. And that's my take on Night Before Christmas Halloween teams. Tell me what you think tell me what your thoughts are in the comments, and if you like this, you might like the other videos. So be sure to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and I'll see you next time.